to a special edition of Scott Selections here on Thursday, May 9th. And as some of you in the comment section alluded to of the last video, you wanted to see a separate video for tennis plays. So for that reason, we're going to be starting this new daily segment. It should mostly be a daily thing. However, sometimes the tennis card could be a little volatile and there might not be a lot of ATP matches. I could dive into some challenger matches in the future or some WTA stuff for women's tennis if I see value on there. But overall, this should be a new daily segment. And we are going to be kicking it off with one of the main tennis tournaments that are going on right now in Madrid with the ATP. Before we actually get into the selection, just an actual comment about the matches tomorrow. Not from a betting perspective, but from a fan perspective, the matches tomorrow are absolutely fantastic. And they seem like something that you would actually see in a Final 8 or even a Final 16. You got Djokovic versus Cilic in the morning. You got Federer versus Thiem after that. Then you got Zverev and Tsitsipas after that. And you have Wawrinka versus Nadal after that. How's it going, Terry? Thanks for joining us. The matchups tomorrow are fantastic, but the one matchup we are going to dive into for the play of the day will be between Tsitsipas and Zverev, which should be kicking off at roughly 12:30. In this matchup, you have Tsitsipas, who and Zverev were both top 10 players in the world. They've played each other 2 times before. Zverev won back in Washington in August 2018, 2-0 in sets. And then Tsitsipas ended up coming back about 6 days later, and he won in 3 sets. But those were both on hard court, so you can kind of disregard what happened, and it was roughly a year ago. So both players are definitely different now than they were back. Like this is the play that we like is we actually think there's going to be a very tight match between these players who have very similar styles. And for that reason, we like this match to go to 3 sets, which is available at 5 dimes at plus 135. So that is the line we're going to be giving out. If that's not available to you, I would recommend taking the over 22.5 or 23, whatever you have there. But the more value is on the 3 sets. So that is the play we'll be looking at for this match. And it's very simple. For us, Tsitsipas is currently in great form. He just won an entire tournament on clay in Portugal, and he has so far done extremely well against Mannarino and Verdasco, as he has not dropped a set in this tournament. Zverev so far is coming into this match after playing a tough 3-setter yesterday, after winning in 3 sets yesterday, and ended up beating David Ferrer in the first round of this tournament. But the main reason why we like the over here and why we like the 3 sets is because Tsitsipas and Zverev are very similar players stylistically. They've played each other very close last time they played. And Tsitsipas is currently in better form, and I'm willing to admit that, except for the fact that Zverev actually won this exact tournament last year. So I do think that Zverev will benefit because he's already won a championship here, but Tsitsipas is still in better form. And I simply think that this will be a very tight match throughout. I think this will go 3 sets. I think it will go over. Would I assume there will be a tiebreak by any means? No, not necessarily, because it's clay, so it's easier to break people. But Zverev looked a little bit vulnerable yesterday. Tsitsipas has looked solid, but Zverev is still the better overall player at this point in both of their young careers. And we simply think that Zverev and Tsitsipas should be able to both win a set. And we think this match will be very competitive, and we like the over 2.5 sets, so to speak, or we like the ending in 3 sets, which is available at plus 135 on 5 dimes. But in terms of the other matches, I will quickly go into I'll probably do this. This is probably a 5-minute video or so, pretty much every day, as I'll go over the one match, and then I'll go over some leans that I might have in some of the other matches. Between Djokovic and Cilic, it's a very tough match to call. I think Djokovic will win, but overall, it's tough to find any value on either of these players in this match. Djokovic did win straight sets again against Chardy, went to a tiebreaker. Cilic has gone to 3 sets in every single match of this tournament. I would link to Djokovic, and I would link Djokovic with the spread, but I personally would lay off on this match. I'm not fully confident in whether or not Djokovic will be able to cover the spread. Moving on, Federer versus Thiem. Thiem's the better clay court player by far, and in my opinion, at this point in time, he's the best clay court player on the planet, based on how Nadal has struggled over the last couple of months in tournaments. But in terms of this match, I think the value has to be on Federer. If Federer is getting roughly 3 games, I think that's too much. I know that Monfils ended up bringing it to 3 sets yesterday, and Federer ended up winning, while Thiem was able to destroy Fabio Fognini, who's been tremendous on clay, also in his own right. But I'm going to lean to Federer as the underdog with the spread. I think Thiem will win, but I would lean to Federer keeping this match close, and I would lean to the over, as that one could go to 3 sets. And then lastly, but not least, you have the Wawrinka versus Nadal match in a rematch of the French Open final from a couple of years ago. Nadal dominates the head-to-head 15-3. Wawrinka did have a nice win in his last match against Nishikori, as he won in straight sets, and he has also yet to drop a set in this tournament. Nadal also coasted to an easy win against Tiafoe. Not really surprised by that. But in terms of this match, Nadal is a huge favorite, as he should be. And the total's low because I think Nadal's going to dominate. The spread's pretty high for Nadal because I think Nadal's going to dominate. I actually think Wawrinka could potentially sneak out a set or keep this match close enough. I'm actually going to lean to Wawrinka plus the games here. Nadal has been really solid in his career, and he's the best clay court player of all time, and his long-spanning record of French Open titles will probably never be broken. But so far, he has looked good against Tiafoe and Aliassime. However, both of those players are still relatively young, and they are also very mentally fragile, so they have been known to somewhat collapse in close matches. But other than that, Nadal has looked really good, but Wawrinka's looked really good in his own right, and Wawrinka has won the French Open before, so both these players are solid on clay. Nadal's obviously better on clay. But Wawrinka demolished Nishikori, dominated Guido Pella, also dominated Herbert in the first round. And I would lean to the over and the Wawrinka covering the spread in that one. But the play of the day will be between the Tsitsipas and Zverev over 2.5 sets, which is available at 5 dimes at +1. That match will be close throughout and will go to 3 sets. But that's going to do it for this installment of the yes, Terry, I was saying if you cannot get the set props, I know that some books don't offer that, where you can only bet games, you can't bet sets. If the set prop is not available at over 2.5, I would take the over in games. I would take the over 22.5 between Tsitsipas and Zverev. But that's going to do it for this installment of Scott's tennis selections. Hopefully he'll come up with a more catchy name for future segments. But that's going to do it for this installment, and good luck to all of you and your respective bets.